All right, everyone, welcome to another edition of the Paydirt Football Show, and today's topic is, what exactly is Action PC Football? Action PC Football is the most realistic football game you can buy today. It's unrivaled in detail, stat accuracy, stability, and fun. With options like head-to-head online play, year-to-year league play, rookie drafts, and free agent bidding, it is, in my opinion, the most complete football game on the market. So what doesn't it have? High-end graphics. This is not Madden football, but for purists, it's better. So where can you get it? You can get it at dksports.com. That's dksports.com. You can download a version of the game, or you can order the CD to be delivered by snail mail. And as it says right here in this picture, it is football for the mind. So now you're asking, okay, I can get the game, so where can I play in a league? Paydirt Football, that's where. At paydirtfootball.com, you can catch up on all the latest NFL news, PC gamer news, or find a large list of PC and tabletop football games. You can also check out our Coach Mode Madden NFL Football League using the latest version of Madden Football. This league has been online since the year 2000 and is currently in Season 43. So enough of our advertisement for paydirtfootball.com. Let's get back to the topic of Action PC Football. And by the way, we also have two of those leagues currently active at paydirtfootball.com, so you can join your leagues there. And of course, you can also check out our Action PC Football leagues at paydirtfootball.com. And don't forget that everything here is free, so don't delay. Stop by today at paydirtfootball.com. Okay, so let's get into the guts of the game. Let's open the game up here. And as you can see here, the game opens up to the standings and stats screen. Down to the left-hand corner, you can see recent games, results, and upcoming games. So before we get into gameplay, let's check out players. And since there are a lot of Dallas Cowboy fans out there, let's open up with the Dallas Cowboys. And the first player we're going to take a look at here is Ezekiel Elliott. So what we're looking at here is we want to pay attention to the stats that this player had in the NFL on this particular season. So receiving, he had 47 catches. Over here on the left where you see rushing, he had 237 attempts for 1,002 yards, 4.2 average. What you're going to find when you use this player for a whole season is that he is going to do about what he did. He might do a little better, he might do a little worse. It depends on your play calling, your team, what kind of offensive line you have in front of him, the plays you're calling, and so on. So the stats that he had in real life play a large role, a very important role in how he's going to perform for you during your games. If you look over to the right, you're going to see his abilities over there other than what we see here in stat numbers. At the top you see run block, pass block, 1 and 1. He's not a blocking back. He is a running back. If you have a fullback, his blocking abilities are a tight end or offensive lineman. They're going to have better blocking abilities than this guy or any running back overall. So 1 and 1 is not very good. Really, to have a good fullback, you want 4 or better in run blocks and 2 or better in pass blocks. Receiving catch, that's a 4. A lot of these numbers are based 1 to 10. For instance, receiving catch he's a 4. He's okay, not great. Receiving run after carry, run after catch. Receiving routes, what kind of routes does he catch? Well, he catches short routes. Let's go on down and get past double coverage. That's a little more complicated. Rushing style is balanced. That means he's pretty good at running inside or outside. His short yardage gain, he's rated a 9, which means he's pretty good at short yardage. Breakaway is only a 6, not quite as much because Ezekiel Elliott is just not that fast. So let's work down here to durability, multi-game. He has a 10. That means he's going to be playing in just about every game you play. A 10 plus is the highest rating you can have for durability. That means he's probably never going to get injured. In this case, he might be out for a few plays in this game or that game. Look down at penalties. Plus means fewer penalties. Minus means more penalties. If there's not a plus or a minus, he's about average on penalties. Here Ezekiel Elliott gets penalized less. So let's move over to Pollard and see the difference between Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. So Pollard had 130 attempts for 719 yards. That's 5.5 yards a carry. That's much better than Ezekiel Elliott had. So you can expect him to probably gain better yardage than Zeke does, even though you're not going to be able to use him as much. Once these players are used more than what they were used in the NFL, you can still use them, but their performance drops. So let's say a wide receiver had 100 catches. He's going to probably catch those 100 catches as long as you throw the ball to him. But after that, he's going to start dropping off in performance until he gets to the point where he's just not very good. It's better to use somebody that's not as good. He caught 39 catches. He averaged 8.6 yards per catch. So that's okay. But if you look over here to the right where we were looking at Zeke's abilities for run block, pass block, his is the same as Ezekiel Elliott's. His receiving catch is about the same. Let's drop down to rushing style. We see that he is also balanced, which means he's pretty good at running inside and outside. Down here with short yardage gains, he's an 8. I think Zeke was a 9. But his breakaway is better. I think Zeke was a 6. Now we're looking at an 8. Tony Pollard, in my opinion, is a better running back than Ezekiel Elliott. He just did not get the carries that Ezekiel Elliott got. Down at the bottom, we see that his durability in game is 9. So he's probably going to be in 15 or 16 games now with the 17-game schedule before he gets injured. Or he might get injured in week 4, he might get injured in week 1, but typically throughout the course of the season, he's going to probably play in most of your games. Penalty-wise, he is also like Zeke and causes less penalties. So you can get a feel for how these ratings play out. If you go to quarterback, if you're familiar with Dallas, okay, you got Dak Prescott. So Dak Prescott's salary all the way over to the right is very high. He was a pretty good quarterback. His value here is $11 million. Now the salary cap in Action PC Football is not accurate to NFL salary cap. However, it is a good representation of what your team is paying to each player. Now, PaydiRtFootball.com Action PC Football Leagues do carry salary caps. So I think they're both at about $120 million right now. So right here, out of a $120 million salary cap, Dak Prescott is eating up over $11 million of that. He completed 68% of his passes, 411 completions out of 596. Interceptions, he had 10 compared to 37 touchdowns. Not bad. So he's a pretty good quarterback. Will he get to the Super Bowl? Well, he can. Will he? Don't know. Wide receivers for the Dallas Cowboys, of course, they had a few good ones. They had Lamb, CeeDee Lamb, and Cooper. Gallup was injured a little bit, so let's look at Gallup, and we're talking about injuries and how many games they'll play. So if you look over here to the right, go down and look at durability multi-game. We see that Michael Gallup has a 5. That means he's going to be out a lot of games. With a 5, he's probably going to play in 6 or 7, 8 games maybe 8. Maybe not. It all depends. He's also pretty good with penalties, as you see there. Let's go over to offensive line and take a look at Zach Martin. Now, as most people know, Zach Martin is a really, really good offensive guard. And you're going to see that represented here. With offensive linemen, it's more difficult. You can't just put up their stats because they're not catching the ball. They're not running the ball. They're not passing the ball. So what you have here is what is their ability to block. And if you look over to the right, you're going to see that their run block ability is a 10 and their pass block ability is a 10. That's about as good as it gets. Follow down, durability. That's a 9. He's going to play in most of your games, but like in the NFL, he did get injured a game or two. So let's switch over here to the defensive line. And of course, as everybody knows, Dallas's defensive line was okay. They had the one guy who was really good, and that was Micah Parsons. Let's take a look at Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons was a rookie who came into the league and just took games over. He was used in very many different ways. He was used as a linebacker. He was used as a defensive end. He would go into coverage. He just did a little bit of everything, and he did it all very well. So if we look here over to, let's go look at the defensive stats here. And what we're going to see is he had 84 tackles, 13 sacks, 13 stuffs, 3 deflections on pass coverage, and 3 forced fumbles. This guy was a monster. He was a game changer. So what is his ratings? Well, if you look over here to the right, you'll see that run defense he was pretty good at. Out of 10, he's an 8. Pass defense, out of 10, he's a 3. Now, you might think that's not good, but actually it is pretty good. If your linebacker has a 3 rating on their pass coverage, that's pretty good because they're not going up against the star wide receivers. His pass rush is a 6. That's also pretty good. He's going to get you those 13 sacks throughout the season if you use him properly. His overall total defensive rating is a 10. That's as good as it gets. So if you have a chance to get him on your team, hey, I recommend you do it. Let's go over to defensive backs, where we also had a good player. And let's take a look at Trevon Diggs. Now, everybody knows he was the interception leader in the NFL last year. Tackles, he had 52. Stuffs, 1. Deflections, he had 9. So he was always in play for the ball, especially when you look over here and you see interceptions, 11. That's tied for the most in the NFL ever. Yards, 142 return yards on those 11 interceptions. He averaged 12.9 on a return. His long was 59. He had 2 touchdowns. But if you go back, let's look here. Where is that? Okay, up here to the top right. Not quite all the way over to the right, where it says games, real replay game here. And you'll see 16 games played. He allowed over 1,000 yards receiving. So the receivers that he was covering throughout the season gained a little over 1,000 yards. Well, that's allowing a 1,000-yard receiver. So that's not really great. However, you're taking a chance on throwing his way because he is a ball hawk. It's just that he can be a liability as well. Would I take him on my team? Sure. Definitely, most definitely. So let's take a look at some of the things that you can do to set up your league. And we'll go to the top menu and go to rules. So you can set your rules up for whatever year. 2021 is where we currently use the rules. But you can set it up for 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. And your stats will play out a little differently. As you see here, you can set your goalpost location, field goal miss line, touchback, punt, interception, fumble. Where do you get the ball after that? Touchback on the kickoff. Miscellaneous up here in the middle of how many weeks in the season, how many minutes in each quarter. There's just a huge amount of things that you can set. Let's go to structure of the league. That's the basic rules. League type, pro league, draft league, college league. Roster limit, how many players are you allowed to have? Reinforcement. Of course, this goes higher than 46. These are just some things this is not a set league. Standard offense, defensive blend, and here we go. Here's what I meant about stats. You can set this to play games with stats from certain decades. Here, we have standard offense, defensive blend. You can go to the 2000s, 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s. I prefer 2000s because 2000s was a pretty good balance. Even 90s is even better. But the standard offense defensive blend is what's happening now. Historical average is what you have here. And of course, like I said, 90s and 2000s, that's my favorite. But you can set it to whatever you want. Use play clock. So when you're playing your opponent, and you can play your opponents here online, head-to-head, in league games, or just for fun. And you can set your play clock. How much time are you going to allow your opponent to pick their play? Now over here, if you look at below that, allow video chalkboard. Now, we mentioned that Action PC Football isn't loaded with high-end graphics like Madden. However, it does allow some movement on the screen as you play. And if you click this little box here to allow video chalkboard, you will see the icons of each player move as the play unfolds. I don't use it. I've used it before. To me, it really doesn't add anything. I like the realism of this game more than I'm looking for graphics, so I just don't even use this. You've got allow narrator, full play-by-play, play synopsis, allow sound effects. Now, of course, here's the salary, and you can set this to whatever you want. There's a little use salary box check, and then you can put however many millions you want to allow there. Usage, and we were talking about this earlier. How long after they've used up the, let's say, receptions that they had? Let's say they had 100 receptions in the season. So how fast after that 100 reception limit will they start to tire? Well, you can set all that here. season usage. You can even set for game usage. We don't typically do that with Paydirt leagues. We allow them to use the player as much as they want to in individual games, but hey, if they run out of their catches, and they start to lack in performance, that's the coach's problem. Injuries, multi-game injuries, partial game injuries, you can set that however you want. If you want it realistic, or less than realistic, or more than realistic, you can set it however you want to as you set up your league. Game fatigue meter here. Same thing here. You can set it high or low. Penalties, you can change the distance of the penalties. We use realistic NFL settings for all penalties. Formations, which ones do you want to allow, which ones do you not want to allow? We allow them all. Display is the last one here. This is using logos for the teams. Let's take a look at tools. There's lots of tools here that you can use. League draft tools, release players, release all players to a free agent pool. Up above that, league roster tools, real usage, set all players to real life usage targets and coach settings, all active, set the players. So look, there's a lot of stuff in it and I could go on forever. But why don't we just get a game started here and show you how this works when you're actually in a game. Not the whole game here, but we're going to go through and do a few plays. And for this demonstration, we are going to set up an exhibition game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Washington Commanders. Commandos, Commodes. I don't know what they're called these days. I think they should have stayed with the football team. I thought that was a better name than what they went with Commanders. But anyway, here we're going to set that up. We're going to go through and call a few plays and let you take a look at it. Okay. So I'm going to click ready here. Play. Now this I'm just playing the computer. So there is a very wide variety of play calling and strategies that you can use. Dallas, I'm going to go ahead and receive the first half. We're going to return. It's going to be Pollard. It's going to return the ball here. Now, just kick off, return. Boom. So I don't have this set up to show you pictures of the players or anything like that. This is simply going to be icons. And what we're going to, well, here you go. You can see that now. This is set to have motion on the play. I don't usually use that. It doesn't typically move. So here I'm going to go ahead and run Elliott. It's going to be a trap left. Just simple as that. From the single back formation. Looks like there's going to be a couple yards here. And if you look up here, you'll see you're down 2nd and 7. With the 2-back, and now if you run your thing over here, you can see Ezekiel Elliott in the back. Who do we have here? That's Tony Pollard. So let's run Pollard. We're going to run him the same play, trap. So it's also going to tell you down here, let's run that and see what he does. And he's got us at 3 yards as well. So it looks like it's going to be about 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. 33. Prescott hands to Pollard down here in the left side, trap left, gain of 4. It will also give you, I don't have it set up here really to show it. Hey, oh, here you go. 42 nickel is what they ran, pass, tight man. Now, when we get to defense, I'll show you a little about that. So now it's 3rd down. What we're going to do is we're going to go to Pollard, and I'm going to do a short cross, and you can see the completion percentages, law of averages here, 83%. That's a high percentage play. Will it work against what they do? Well, we're going to see. Now it's giving me an audible. Washington formation, play 3 basic. They're playing short, tight, showing blitz. We're showing blitz, so I'm going to go ahead and go with a screen to Pollard on the audible. So let's see what it does. Let's go. Ah, there he goes. He got it. Okay. So it looks like he got about 3 plus 5 there is 8 yards. So let's go. I'm going to let's get rid of this guy and put in somebody that can block. And well, I don't really have anybody in there, so we're just going to keep it. Let's go ahead and run Elliott again. Only this time we're going to go off tackle. And that is going to be so that is a 43 basic defense. He got a gain of 1. So here we go. We're gonna go ahead and give a short slant to Cooper. He's pretty good. I don't know why we have the hesitation here. Probably because I've got so much stuff running at the same time. This usually runs much smoother. And that is incomplete. So now it's going to be 3rd and 9. So let's go with 4 wide receiver setup. We'll use Elliott to block. It's not a great blocker, but we're going to do that. Let's go with Lamb on a medium pitch. Now this is long yardage here, 3rd and 9, medium hitch, and it looks like he got it. I was worried about doing the hitch on that because a hitch can sometimes come up short because there's not much run after the catch. And we're going to continue to pass it. So let's go with Cooper this time on a medium cross. Now, there's all kinds of other things here, and I'll point some things out that you can do. And as you can see down here on the left after this play finalizes, they had a dime. It was still a completed pass. Delayed blitz, well blocked, medium end tackled by Jackson III, gain of 13 yards. Now, there's all kinds of other things over here. You've got quick passes, pitch lefts, isolate man, zone seam, there's the combo pass, there's all kinds of different hurry up, slow, no huddle, hard count, play safe, head out of bounds. That means if you got going, you need to stop the clock. Stay in bounds, you want to run the clock. Shotgun, pistol, a rollout, strong left, motion, and then of course you've got the lineups here, and you've got your backfield options, split backs, I formation, trips left. So there's different versions of each formation package. So let's go with pass again. I like to use blockers. We're going to go to Lamb again on medium out. So there's Prescott back to pass. And that's over there to the left. Looks like he did make the completion. Gain of 5. And he threw it together. That was a 41 dime pass defense. Let's go with the draw. Let's use Zeke on just a draw. Let's see what they do here. So I'll end this drive here whenever I can, whenever it ends. And then we're going to play a few plays on defense just to show you what the options are there. So it's 3rd and 1. We're going to go with, let's go tight end, double tight end, double running back. And since, well, Zeke's getting a little tired, so let's go with a dive on Pollard. He's not as good on the short yardage as Ezekiel Elliott is, but there you go, he's got it anyway. Okay, so now we're going to go with 3 wide receivers, 1 running back. Again, let's go to Cooper with a medium fly. Well, let's go play action. Cooper. Let's see how that works out. So anyway, that is incomplete. Let's do another one. Let's block. Well, let's throw it to Schultz this time. Block Zeke. And we'll go with a medium pitch to Schultz. And he made the completion of the catch for another first down. And we're going to go right back to him again. Let's see if he can get this in the end zone for a touchdown from the 12 or 13 yard line there. Oh, that's going to be incomplete. So it is 2nd and 10. Let's go to Cooper. Let's go medium out. I'm never crazy about doing these out plays. It's a lot of space to cover because they're running to the sideline from the middle of the field. And that is incomplete as well. This guy hit the Holcomb as he throws to Elliott incomplete. They're blitzing. They're blitzing on that play. So it is now 3rd and 10. So I need someone with, let me see who we got here. Okay, receiving here for Gallup. It's 12 yards. Is what he averaged. I need a big yard. That's 12 yards. 13.9 is CeeDee Lamb. So let's go to CeeDee Lamb. We'll block Elliott. And we'll go with a medium slant. Hopefully he'll get some run after catch yards. Here. Like I said, I don't usually use this section. It's incomplete. So now it's 4th down. We're going to kick a field goal. So if you look down here, you see the field goal option. 93% success rate from this yard line. So we'll see what we've got. Picks up. Looks good. And I think I've got this play to unfold slowly here on this, and that's why it's slow. Okay, so it's 3-0 Dallas. Kick deep. Yes, that's why it's slow, because you can set all your options, how fast the game plays, all that stuff. I think I've got this set slow, so it does unfold as fast as you want it to unfold. And like I said, again, I'm playing the computer here, but you can play other opponents online with league games or against yourself, home, or whatever, or just to have fun. It doesn't have to be a league game. So here we go. What we have here is standard low formation. I don't know what he's going to do. I'm going to stay with zone right now, and I'm going to just do a basic package, which means I'm not concentrating on run or pass. And we'll see what happens. Okay, it's a run, and it looks like he's going to get about 3 or 4 yards. So, here you go, it's a penalty. It's a holding on the offense. I'll accept that. And they're 2nd and 20 now, is it? Yeah, so they're 1st and 20, sorry. So at this point, I think I'm going to go with a pass. And I'm running a 42 nickel. You can see all the formations here. You got a basic, you got a run, and a pass defense. You got prevent defense, goal line. Then you can key people. And of course over here you can go, let's say basic again. Well, I clicked the play before I picked the other part. That's the last part of the play that you pick, whether it's going to be a basic or pass or a run or prevent or whatever. So it is, sorry about that, a little lull in the action. 2nd and 9. They've got 3 wide receivers out and a tight end, 1 running back. So what we're going to do is go with basic again. I'm going to go tight man. And I'm going to go ahead with the basic. Okay, timeout. So let's go here. It's still tight end with 3 wide receivers. Let's go with a zone now. And they're running back again, and he's going to get about 5, 6 yards. 32. So you can see here, you can pick out how many blitzers you want to have. I can blitz, as many guys as I want to blitz. You just click it or unclick it, to not blitz or to blitz. You can line in, line out, left shift or right shift. You can have your style as aggressive or conservative. You can swap your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, or your cornerbacks. You can have a quarterback spy right here and choose who to do that. You can key players. Different players here that you can key. You can spread in. Let's say they've run a lot of slants. Well, they're inside plays. They go down and in. So you might want to spread your cornerbacks in, or if they do a lot of outs or plays that run to the outside of the field, you might want to spread your safeties and stuff out. So anyway, this is how it works. I'm going to do one more play here. Let's go in. Let's quarterback. No, let's blitz. Let's blitz Parsons. He's a good blitzing ability, and we're going to go fast. So here we go, it's 3rd and 2. And they run it. And they got the first down. So that's where we're going to stop it here. This is an example of Action PC Football. And you can go to paydirtfootball.com to get in one of the leagues there if you are interested in Paydirt Football, Action PC Football leagues. Now we also have a Madden League. It uses the latest version of Madden Football. And maybe later we'll do a video on that. But for now, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next time.